Hello, audio messing up tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Third Age Total War with me, Blue Ankylo. So, audio mess ups. First, before it gets too far, when I was recording the next couple episodes, I thought everything was working, but apparently Fraps decided not to pick up my microphone. So I have to add commentary, which is going to be a little bit confusing for me, but hopefully you won't mind too much. Anyway, we're beginning our episode. My diplomat has a quest to go talk to Isengard, which is fine, so let's try to get that through before too much goes on. I had forgotten about my diplomat there for the last few turns, and it's good that we got something to do with him finally. Now we can see the Rune armies are not too much threatening around here. This one little one was about to attack our big army, but it looks like they couldn't quite make it there. So it looks like our dude's going to make it to Navan all by himself. And I believe this is where I mentioned that little symbol there is for famous battles. So that's the one where we were defending against two armies and we managed to get a heroic victory, which was pretty cool. So whenever, haven't mentioned that before, but the game adds those little markers in for important battles. And I spend a minute looking around to see if there's any others, but I don't think I find any, so I don't know, that might be our first and only so far. If you've seen one, cool, but I haven't caught it yet. So anyway, those are cool little things. And, you know, as usual, we don't have any money, but I think we're positive green, we're improving in all areas, so that's good. And what else are we doing? Spy. Yeah, I got my spy that I planned on recruiting before, so hopefully I'll move him where I mean to.
My lord.
It's kind of weird commenting like that. So that was where I fought that battle off camera. I cleaned that army up, if you were wondering. Nothing special. You didn't miss anything too exciting. Right by Rovanos there, I cleaned up one army. So we've got a few dudes there left, and we're just retraining from some losses after the last battle that I skipped through. It went pretty smooth, all things considered. We didn't lose too many dudes. And those little armies aren't not going to be too bad. Now I believe I spent a bit of time here talking about the height, the color, the dark color there, explaining that a full stack of army with full units has the color full right to the top of the flag there, so the dark red would go right to the top. And this little army here, although it has 5 units, because the color is so low, I'm assuming that they're very weak units. They're not at full strength, so there's 5, but they must be, you know, low percentage of their total. Anyway, move my army in there. We got a nice big stack, and we can recruit our cool dudes. We haven't even seen these before, the Gadrotes and the whatever they're called. Can't remember. Didn't mouse over them that time. Or there you go, the Gadrotes. They're pretty nice looking. Those are my ultimates. Well, not ultimate. They're my mid-tier spears. So hopefully they will serve us well once we get to some difficult rune battles coming up. So what else are we looking at here? We'll do Navan. Can't remember what I was looking at this time. to be perfectly honest, I think I was. Oh right, the AOR units. The certain areas you can recruit them only. So the Rovanian Gadrouts can only be recruited and replenished in this castle, and that's one of the things Third Age adds a lot of, is special units you can only recruit and replenish in certain areas. And I'm showing you that Dale has its own special ones. So you can't just recruit those anywhere, and you can't just replenish them anywhere either. So kind of cool, makes it a little bit more challenging when you've got specialized units that you can only get from a certain city. There we go, I remembered what I was talking about. I lost all my good commentary. I'm kind of upset about this. I'm sure I said lots of amazingly cool things the first time. Now I'm not going to remember.
Yes, my lord.
And this begins the weird Gondor-Mordor war/peace thing. And you'll see this coming up in the next couple of videos a lot. Not quite sure what the deal is. Our one general made it to Dorminion. The white scroll there means he's a governor now. And because he's a governor, he's you know, improving the tax, the income, and the potential population growth and stuff. But I don't know, he's just new, he's young, 16. You can see his traits there: Prince of Dale, legacy of respect, speaks of loyalty. I don't know, I think he's fine. He's just new. He's a newbie, hoping that our town will grow at some point. So yeah, what else? What's next? The YouTubers want to see stuff going on. probably was planning out my attack or something about what we're going to do next. And unfortunately, I'll never know what I said, and you will never know either. So our reinforcements are heading to Kugavad. I believe the plan is once it gets there to attack the next city, and from here, I think I figured I might as well clean that army up, or else. Oh no, I was deciding whether to wait or not. Right, because my units I've already moved. Half the army's already moved. I can't actually go back and make it to the castle in one turn. Like I can't attack that rune army and get back. So I think I end up deciding to just leave it for this turn and see what they do, because I'm assuming that they're not going to go past Uldonavan at this point. They're probably going to group up together or something. I don't know. I guess we'll find out soon. I already know, because you know I've played a little bit ahead now. So anyway, you know how it is. You know how it is. Yeah, I must have spent a bit of time here trying to decide just if I had enough troops to push out or not. Yeah, this is where I'm explaining, yeah, because this troop's already moved, I can't actually attack that army and get back in time. So I'm a little bit concerned about leaving the castle defenseless. You know how it is. Got some Yeomen there, reinforcements for that army, and it's looking like a pretty good reinforcement army heading up to Kugavad. I think at this point I realized that this southern army actually has no Yeomen, no cavalry at all, so I think I changed my mind here, you know. Yeah, I decided I'd rather have some Yeomen down here, some cavalry to help out, because it's a little bit low. And yeah, alright, so we made it to the end of the turn. Woohoo! This is a little bit awkward, yeah, I'll be honest, but I could be worse. Unfortunately, there was no save, so I couldn't just reload it. So the option was either to miss out on half a dozen turns of gameplay and not know why I have this new town or this or that, so you'd never see this video at all, or to play it with no commentary, which I thought was kind of lame, or to try to do post-commentary. Those were the only options I had, so this is what you get. And hopefully you can bear with it, and hopefully I can find something half decent to say, which is a little bit unusual. Ah, right. This was a good one. Happy days. One of the things about Third Age is it limits your military recruitment a bit at the beginning, and until you get this event, your army isn't at full capacity, as I was explaining, I'm sure. So the fact that we've got that is great. It generally comes around turn 40, give or take. So I think we're going to go find what our new units are here, and it's pretty good. So we can't just automatically recruit anything new just yet, but we will have new buildings, I think. There you go. New stuff to build. Army barracks. So look at all these new units. Yeah, we got our sword masters. We've seen them once, but now we can actually recruit them, and they're pretty awesome looking. There's our two-handed swordsmen, of course. We've got dismounted earls, who are just decent swordsmen, I believe, sword and shield. So they're pretty strong, kind of line infantry type thing. Barding herd. I don't know how to pronounce herd. I think these are pikemen, possibly. I think they're pikemen because they got effective against armor, so they look awesome. I like pikemen, I love them. And those are our new infantry types. And we should have new... there'll be new cavalry, but I'm not going to show them just yet, I don't think. But we do have new archers here, so you can see our longbowmen they've been good for us. I definitely got nothing wrong with them. Their weakness is they have low defense, but they are almost as good archers as Athala Rangers, but the Rangers are much better at defense. And you can see the missile attack is very similar. I think I was mentioning the unit size is kind of interesting. The longbowmen actually have larger unit sizes than Athala Rangers, or our new Bardian Marksmen, which I believe are much like the general bodyguards, except a larger unit size, and still only 6 missile attack, but quite a long range, and pretty nice defense, actually. I mean, look at that, 17. That's better than a lot of my infantry, so they'll be pretty tough. So I'm excited about that, and it looks like for the most part Esgaroth is the only place big enough to actually get those buildings right now. Maybe Uldonavan, but it actually might need to be a fortress rather than a castle, unfortunately. So yeah, we're kind of stuck with what we've got. We need our cities to grow, and it takes a really long time in Third Age. Like, I'm assuming maybe by turn 100 or 150 we'll start to have larger castles and towns. But so anyway, that's the news. Barracks event is a good thing. As you can see, that one rune army kind of disappeared, so I send my spy down to try to figure out what's going on. And I don't think that's the right army, it's something else.
Yes, my lord.
So I think, well, it's probably a good time to put some watchtowers down here, right? Yeah, we need to see what's going on around our cities. It's too dark. I also kind of have a thing here where I try to move my generals exactly half of their movement range away from the cities. That way I can build a watchtower and get back in one single turn, so they're not left, you know, defenseless out in the open or something. So you can see me trying to figure it out like that. It's not perfect, and it might be useful to put the watchtowers right closer to the edge, your borders, but I like getting my generals back in the city if possible. So at this point, what are we doing? I think I'm a little bit concerned about Rovanost here. It is pretty low defense, and I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I'm assuming the Rune armies are heading towards the elves or something, because they're kind of ignoring us right now. And I keep looking for stuff to build, but there's not much. Because of our city sizes and the fact that it grows pretty slowly, it's difficult to, well, there's not much new stuff to build, unfortunately. So our army, what do I call them, reinforcements are coming over. Everything's looking pretty good. Yeah, good old Hearth Watchman. Yeah, that's the Mordor Gondor thing. Back and forth, back and forth. I'm starting to wonder actually if my game is a little bit gibbled or something. Maybe the scripts I picked or something, because Mordor and Gondor, basically every turn, peace and then war, peace and then war, every turn. So it's very strange. I still haven't actually taken my dwarves to each of the towns to get the special building for that. I keep forgetting. I can't remember what I was explaining here. I really don't know. I think it's watchtowers. I was a little bit concerned about, yeah, enemies sneaking up along that backside. So I planned to build a tower there. Unfortunately, I used up all those movement points and I couldn't actually build one there. So we'll have to do that next turn. You know how it is. I don't know exactly what I was talking about. I forgot my diplomat, of course, so he just auto-moved there. I'm not very good at remembering about him. But we get the job done. We get the job done. So yeah, our campaign is going pretty well at this point, I'd say. I mean, I keep expecting Rune to pull up some larger armies soon, but you know, we've done well for ourselves. We've won some pretty major battles, and we haven't been backstabbed yet. No giant Mordor stack of doom or goblin stack of doom or anything like that. We've been maybe a little bit lucky even. I don't know. It's hard to say. And this is a Rune diplomat asking for peace. We've actually kicked their butts so well that they're requesting a peace offer. So of course we deny that. We've got plans. We're who else would we war with if it wasn't for Rune? So yeah, they don't get off that easy. They've had so many generals that have killed thousands of our men. We need our revenge. We need vengeance. And welcome to turn 39. Still poor as always. We made some roads. Yeehaw. And I think, again, I question whether or not we need culture here. Because we don't have any at all. And I think, I've talked about this before, but we actually didn't need culture to recruit the units we can recruit right now. But it's good to get the base culture boost building out right away, so it starts going up. Can't remember exactly what my thoughts were here. I noticed that I've got too many units for my stack at this point. Look at my droughts for a little bit here, and I imagine I'm going to dismiss some of my junk units pretty soon because 3 bandits. What are they going to do? Yeah. So we get rid of some of our mercenary junks. Even if we possibly could have retrained them maybe, or somehow replenished them. I'm not sure how it always works with mercenaries. That way we can join our guys up together. Much stronger army altogether. Just getting rid of some junk. Even, yeah, I think just all the mercs, basically. Anything that's got like 10 guys left, just you're out. So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty strong looking army there, I figured. We are getting some replenishment here in the city, in the castle. I was just a little bit of micromanaging there, so they replenish the fastest if possible. Joining your armies together, so you only have, because you can only like retrain so many per turn, so combining them together so you can retrain them faster just saves a bit of time. Saves you a turn or two maybe. I don't know what else I was talking about. Lots of cool mouse waving and stuff. Yeah, see, there you go. Gondor, Mordor, peace. It's very, very strange. I don't know what the deal is. I think I plan to send a diplomat down to go check it out pretty soon. Probably after I deal with Isengard, because I'm a little bit concerned now of just what's going on with Gondor. I still haven't built that garrison quarters in Aero. I keep thinking about it, but it's pretty expensive. So I'm saving up for these new buildings that are very expensive, because they're even more pricey actually, and I really would like the new units. So I mean, I'm also questioning whether or not we'll get faster replenishment here. So once our longbowmen have once we've got better buildings, I was wondering if we'll get them faster even, which would be nice, because we definitely can't recruit them in very many places.
Yes,
in fact, just one still. So 2 turns to Kugelvad, and then we can attack the next town. Finally build our watchtower down here, so we can see our sort of back door around the ruined sea. Just in case, you never know. Had a little bit of difficulty with that general getting back and forth. It's not optimal. I just noticed Old Navan is evil income right now. That's pretty good. I think I was thinking about moving one of the generals back to the other cities, but figuring that, nah, we're probably going to attack pretty soon anyway. So the spy, I believe I'm looking for the next ruined city actually. So I'm looking at the borders here, trying to figure out where the town's going to be. There's probably one there, and probably one over here is what I'm thinking. Although you need to kind of follow the roads maybe. So yeah, I should have followed the road, stupid spy. So anyway, there's the next Burr something or other town, and it's practically undefended. So that's interesting, right? That means we got to attack it. So I think I decided pretty quick that if they're going to leave a town completely defenseless, yeah, Blue Ankylo needs to take advantage of that. We've got a nice army. Foolish rune.
Yes, my lord.
So yeah, deciding what kind of army we want to take. I want to leave a few units back in Old Navan just because it's such an important castle. We don't want to lose it. So I try to balance this out, taking our nice new units and some dwarves and stuff, and some fodder, of course. You know how it is. That's a pretty nice looking army. Left a few behind, and we'll be there in a couple turns. So no problem. Yeah. So that's good. Cavalry coming down. No cavalry in that army at all, I remember at this point, so I go, oh no, maybe we should bring over some spare, because it's not helping Rovenost, and if we're in a field battle, we're going to want a couple yeomen. So yeah, that was good, and this army's trucking along, so we end our turn. Woohoo! Yeah, unfortunately, I believe this episode doesn't have a whole lot of battle. We just get some turns done, which is, good. We got to get these turns rolling for our overall game. Can't just do 1 turn per episode, or this Let's Play will go forever. So yeah, I mean, what else to say? I think we're doing well. And the fact that Rune's asking for peace, you noticed, that's a good sign. When the AI thinks, hey, maybe you'll give us peace, ceasefire, probably means you're kicking their butt. So this town is looking a little bit defended, and they're obviously pulling reinforcements into this town. So they're recruiting like crazy, and they're trying to pull things in, but they don't look terribly scary, and I don't care about my money too much. So yeah, there you go again. Mordor, Gondor, back and forth. That's very unusual. I don't know what the deal is. Still haven't figured that one out. Maybe someone in the comments knows or something. Retraining some dudes just for full strength. As best as you can, basically. I don't know why I double checked that. Sometimes it's just good to double check. And I figure we probably should group our cavalry up and get them to the army as soon as possible. You can see that little black border. That means Mordor still owns the territory to the southwest of that town. That's kind of interesting. So we've got our general, governor. I guess I call them governors when they're in a city for generals, but almost ready to attack that town, and pretty much exactly ready for this town.
Yes.
I contemplate sending my spy in, but I decide it's smarter to check for, reinforcement giant doom stacks, and seeing that it's all clear, I plan on taking this city. Now, I think what I was planning on here was attacking the army outside of the city, and having the city army reinforce it, kind of like what happened when I was sieging Uldu Navan and they attacked us. And then you fight in the field, and if the army in the city attacks you, you will sort of automatically win if you win the victory, and you'll take the city. That was kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, I was explaining how I did it in Uldu Navan. This is more of an offensive tactic rather than the defensive one we did earlier. And I figured, hey, that's worth a shot. I'd rather fight in the field than in the city, just for... not that my army is really meant for that kind of fights, but it would be nice. Don't have to siege and build equipment. But, I mean, as you saw there, it didn't work. The other army ran away anyway, so we still have to siege it. The good news, though, is because we're sieging it, none of the armies can get into the city, so they have to stay outside. They can't reinforce. They can't break the siege and just get in there. So it worked out all right. Not quite as well as I was hoping. Double checking my army there, just unit composition and stuff, making sure I had enough to take a city.
Approaching their dignitary.
And yeah. Oh yeah, I finally remember my diplomat. And of course he doesn't make it in one turn. So I'm kind of a bit foiled there again. As usual, I have to wait an extra turn. That diplomat is costing us $100 a turn, so I probably should try to keep using him, or else at least dismiss him if he doesn't do anything. They make half-decent scouts. You can see what's going on, and if you can trade map information, it's quite useful to keep you know, up to date on what's going on around the world. But unless you're really pushing for diplomacy, and I don't play diplomatically too much in this game. It's not like Europa Universalis or something where it's really important to have allies and do this and that. And then another kind of bad event, actually. The One Ring was located by a general in Isengard. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to trigger some nasty events in the future. I know if Mordor gets it, it's very bad. So I'm thinking here, this is Isengard, give or take. Somewhere in there, someone's got the ring, basically. It's quite a long way from us. The thing was, if the ring gets in there, Sauron appears, and he's bad news. But I really don't know what happens if Saruman gets it for Isengard. Lore-wise, I figured it would be a pretty bad thing eventually, because Saruman was planning to do essentially the same thing eventually as Sauron, just... You know how it is. You lore guys, you know what it is. Lord of the Rings people. So I realize... Esgaroth, we got to start building our new buildings, because this is the only place that can build them. And I double checked the cavalry. So this is our next tier of cavalry, and I'm actually not very impressed with them, the Dale cavalry compared to the Yeomen. They've got a bit better defense, but their attack and charge are actually lower. So I'm kind of upset with that. They're, you know, a little bit more expensive and everything, and not quite as good. They've got good morale, I guess. That's different. But for the most part, they're very similar, just with a little bit more defense and less attack. So that was unfortunate. So then I pull out the old building browser to double check if there's anything better. And we find that, yes, there's still an upgrade to the 3rd tier. And these are our solid heavy cav. And you look at the stats on those guys, they look real good. So those are the ones we're aiming for eventual, one day. Then I figure I should double check all my buildings so I know what's coming up. And we do have a royal barracks eventually, but I don't think it's got anything new. It's just the same units basically. Maybe a higher replenishment rate or experience or something, but same units. So we're pretty close to being able to recruit all of our units. And I figure, well, should we go for infantry first, or archery first, or cavalry? And I think I decided that having more archers would be better, because we still only have this one city that can build longbowmen. And I don't care too much about the infantry. They're kind of expendable, but I'd like to have better archers and more of them. So alright, we did that. We got our standing stones, getting a little bit of culture for Old O'Navan. It'll slowly increase. And I think I decide farms are the way to go. Farms are usually a good idea. Roads and farms. That's the way to build your economy. Faster troop travel, faster city growth, and of course lots of money. That's the idea with roads and farms. Gondor and Mordor continue to go back and forth. I notice again we're not making very much money, so I can't really recruit a whole lot of units. I'm trying to just recruit good ones now and not too much fodder. I'll start replacing the fodder units with better ones if possible. So I want lots of longbowmen and lots of, you know, the Gadrouts and the Dale swordsmen and stuff. Not so many Hearth Watchmen if possible, unless they're free for upkeep. And you know how it is in cities. So yeah, we've got a city to take with very little defenses, and our reinforcements are here. So we've got loads of units, too many for a single stack in fact. So I have to spend a minute or so here sort of, you know, recombining stuff. I did have a lot of weakened units, so I can move stuff around a little bit and save some spots, but we still have more than you can actually fit together. I've got like 5 spare units there. So have to forgive me while I sort things out a little bit here, and basically plan our assault on the next city. I decide I'll just take the good units with me, basically, like dwarves and stuff. They're pretty good. Although, you'll see. Next episode we'll finally use the dwarves in battle. They actually... well, I won't spoil it. So yeah, I'm just gathering stuff up. You know how it is. Lots of units, lots of stuff to pick. Gotta bring lots of fodder units still. We can't make a full elite army just yet. I don't even think we could afford it. A full stack of longbowmen and dale swordsmen and gedrotes and stuff, I think would still actually be too expensive. We're just barely making money right now. And we bring some javelins and some cavalry and everything. You know, I try to make a balanced army if possible. I realize I actually have a weakened cav unit, and it'd be smarter to bring the full cav, you know. And I still have one spot left there that I forgot about. I missed one unit, so... the lucky ones, who's lucky? Hearth Watchmen, they're lucky boys. They get to join the assault. And yeah, that's that. Kugavad is just coming along very slowly. It still hasn't caught up with culture, I don't think. Oh, I was pointing out there the color of the flag, that's a full stack with full power units is at full. The color goes right to the top. My cavalry sadly did not quite join up, so unfortunately they're not going to be part of this battle because they were like one movement too slow. Kind of disappointing.